Hey, what's going on everyone? My name is Owen Mance and this is month 1 of becoming an Amazon best-selling author in the next 12 months. I want to walk you step by step through everything you need to know to become an Amazon #1 bestseller. Whether you're a seasoned writer or just starting out, this series is your ultimate guide to making your publishing dreams a reality. Here's the deal. As a writer, I want to give you as much value as possible. I've got a ton of links in the description with free tools, templates, calculators, and so much more to help you write, market, and get published. I'll walk you through every single step, every single thing I'm doing so that you can copy everything that I'm doing exactly. Here's what I need you to do. Don't subscribe. Don't hit the notification bell right now. But listen, watch till the end. If you think I've given enough tools, enough information to you to make it worth your time, then consider subscribing. Now, without further ado, let's jump right in. Month 1 is all about laying the groundwork for your success. Becoming a bestseller isn't about luck, it's about strategy, preparation, and mindset, and that starts today. This month, we're going to finish writing our manuscript, finalize edits with professional feedback, and start refining our manuscript with beta readers. The first step is to understand your why. When you're writing, you want to know why you're writing this book. Is it to share a personal story? Is it to build authority or create passive income? What is your reason? What is your why? Your why is your anchor, and it'll keep you focused when the going gets tough. Take a moment and write down why you're writing the book. Now, you want to keep your who in mind while you're writing too. Who is your ideal reader? Who is your target audience? We'll do some research on that later, but it helps thinking through it now. The clearer your target audience, the easier it'll be to market your book later on. Now, ask yourself, what keeps them up at night? What keeps your audience up at night? What are their dreams? What are their frustrations? What are their goals? The answers will shape your writing, branding, and sales strategies. Now, the key to writing is not creativity. It's consistency. If you don't have a finished manuscript already, it's because you haven't been consistent with your writing. Cut out an hour every day just to write, and then actually write. I use a Pomodoro timer all the time. What it is, it gives you 20 minutes of work, you get 5 minutes of rest, and then you go back to work for 25 minutes. And it repeats. It's a cycle that repeats. 25 minutes of work, 25 minutes of rest, 25 minutes of work, and so on. It keeps you going, and it gets that short pause to help stimulate your mind again. I want you to set SMART goals for yourself too. Be specific, be measurable, be achievable, right? The goals should be relevant and time-bound. So an example would be, I want to write more. It's not a SMART goal. It's none of those things. It's not specific, it's super general, it's not measurable. I could write 2 words, and that's me writing more. It's not relevant, right? If I want to write a manuscript, I don't just need to write more. It's not time-bound. There's no schedule on it. So a better SMART goal, a better way to say that would be, I'm going to write 500 words every night after work at 7 p.m. for the next year. Now that is specific, right? It's very specific. What time, how many words, and how long. It's measurable. I can measure my success, right? If I don't achieve 500 words every night, then I'm not successful in my goal. It's achievable, right? It's definitely possible to write a paragraph every day. It's relevant, right? It'll get me to where I'm going, and it's time-bound. I'm doing this for a year. Now, by the way, writing 500 words for 365 days is almost 200,000 words. That's 2 good-sized novels in a single year. Now, I want to jump into the specifics of writing. I'm not going to go through the general idea of a story. That'll be for another video. But I do want to go through formatting, platforms, different tools you can use to get started on your journey to becoming a #1 bestseller. I'm assuming right now that everyone knows how to write. If you're watching this video getting ready to publish. If not, I've got a free writing course that's available on my website. I've also got some other videos coming out about writing itself. Right now, we're just going to jump into the publishing aspect. So without further ado, let's jump in. Alright, now that we're actually in the Google Doc, let me run this through. So I created a complete playbook, how to become a #1 best-selling author in 12 months. So this is month 1. This is what we're going to cover today. It's going to be about finishing writing. So finish writing your book, finalize edits with professional feedback, and start refining your manuscript with beta readers. Now, I'm not going to jump into detail about how to write, how to build a story, how to create plots and characters and all of that and setting. That's going to be for another video. Right now I want to jump into some other sides of that. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is the book idea validation cheat sheet. And take a look. All these helpful links are also posted in the description below for you to use. So the book idea validation cheat sheet looks like this. It is taken from Kindlepreneur, so shout out to them. Here's the key. So ABSR, that's the Amazon bestseller rank. All that means is to get the ABSR, right? It's what a book ranks in on Amazon. So if you jump to Amazon, I went to The Sleep Experiment, Jeremy Bates. I haven't personally read it, so if you have, let me know how it is. The Sleep Experiment by Jeremy Bates. It is a psychological thriller on Amazon. It was published 2019, it looks like. You can read the description if you want, but scroll down, right? You've got a little bit of details here. If you keep scrolling, past the editorial reviews, past the all of this, you come to product details. Now it shows you the publisher, the publishing date, the language, paperback, number of pages, gives you the ISBN. Right underneath all of that, it says the bestseller rank. Now this book currently is ranked 10,955 in books. It is number 2 in American horror, so it's ranked number 2 for that category, and it's number 28 in ghost fiction and 44 in teen and young adult thrillers and suspense. So what we want to do is we want to grab this rank right here, 10,955. We want to jump over to our calculator, and right here where it says, right, we would put in our keyword, we would put in the Google searches per month. The blue is what you edit, the red is what it tells you. So right here under ABSR, I'll put, I'll put 10,955. In the books sold per day, that's the BSPD, books sold per day, you're going to jump back over here. It's got a link to a calculator from Kindlepreneur. Now, I've linked two calculators in the description. One of them is Kindlepreneur. That looks like this. The other one is from TCK Publishing. It looks like this. Now, this one's way more simple. The other one is a little bit more fleshed out. Let's just use this one right now. So the BSR, right, the book, the bestseller rank, we're going to put in 10,955. It's a book, so we're going to change it to book. And then we're going to hit calculate sales. And look at that, it spit out the sales per month, which is 347, and the sale per day, which is 23. And that's the number we need. So if we jump back to our book idea calculator, we've got the bestseller rank, and then here under the books sales per day, we're going to put 23. Now, jumping back to the Amazon page, the price of the book is $7.95 as a paperback. Okay, so we're going to put 7.95 in our price of book number 1. Now it'll spit out the average Amazon bestseller rank of the top 3 books, right? And it gives you the monthly revenue of book 1 of the book you just put in. So this book is making $5,400 per month by being almost 11,000 as the bestseller rank, right? So if you think about that, you need to sell 23 books per day to make $5,500 a month. That's pretty good. And you can play around with this. You can add in more books, see the average, look at different keywords, and this calculator is really there to validate your idea, right? Is your idea for the book going to sell? Is it going to make money? Will your keyword, will your category, will your niche be making money for you? Will it be profitable? So that's the book calculator. The other thing I want to show you is if you come back here, right, we walked through the TCK Publishing calculator, Kindlepreneur calculator, just for your reference, it's pretty similar. You put in the rank here, right, 10,955. You put in the book type, is it paperback, hardback? So you've got a little bit more options. Obviously, Amazon.com. You want to hit Show Advanced Calculator, and you can put in some more details like number of pages, the price of the book, so 7.95. Interior is black and white or color, and then you can actually see all of the calculations right here. So earnings per day is $4, earnings per month 134, copies sold, right? So it gives you a little bit of a different breakdown for each of those. Now, if we jump back here to our playbook, real quick, I know I said I wouldn't go into writing, but I do want to provide you with 2 outlines. Now, if you're a fiction writer, this is going to be the outline for you. This is the one that you want to follow. Obviously, put your title, subtitle. Then I broke this down between a couple different things. So it shows you how to format a little bit, and it shows you how to write as well. So we've got the table of contents here, and this is what I cover. This is the overview. I'm going through plot and outline, target audience, structure, prologues, afterwards, point of view, styles, genres, subgenres, tropes, themes, characters, and then a breakdown of each character, right? What is their history? What do they look like, etc. The setting, the story idea, and so on. I mean, it's a ton of things just to help you plan and flesh out your story in detail so that you have a finished manuscript that you feel confident in publishing. So it goes through the overview, right? What is the competition? What is the manuscript about? Give a summary, give the positioning, what is the point of view? What do you want readers to remember? And then here, target audience. I give a couple of ideas, right? Are you writing a children's book? Are you writing for YA? Are you writing for adults, women, men, parents, right? Who is your audience? And then the structure, go through the structure. How many words is it going to have? What is the page number? Prologue, right? Point of view, styles. I go through the characters. I give you some character sheets. Describe them, right? If you've ever played D&D, you make character sheets. This is kind of similar, right? Go through the setting. Design your world. For nonfiction, it is very similar. Now, for nonfiction, you obviously don't have a lot of the fiction elements, but you still need to structure your story. You still need to determine what point of view you're writing from. You still need to determine your setting to some extent, right? So it's the same kind of outline. Is it an ebook? Is it going to be a physical book? Chapter by chapter summary. What is chapter 1 going to talk about? What is the supporting content? Chapter 2, 3, 4, and so on, all the way through to your reference page. So if you're interested in planning, and if this would help you dive into writing a manuscript, I would definitely check that out. Completely free to use. All I ask, go to File, right, up here, and then hit Make a Copy, and then make your own copy for yourself. That way we don't mess anything in the program. Coming back here, those are the two outlines. So again, if you need help with writing, I'm going to cover that in a different video. For now, I'm giving you a fiction outline and non-fiction outline. Both of those are like 15 pages long of just outline stuff and information that you can fill out. So if you want help organizing your story, definitely check that out. Now, another thing I want to cover is Reedsy.com. If you haven't heard of Reedsy, it is a platform where you can format your book and typeset it and really hone it in and give it the flair that it deserves. Now, Reedsy is free to use. All you do is put in your email, sign up, and then you will get into a platform like this. And this is what Reedsy looks like in the inside. So you can create your book, you can typeset it, you can organize it, and each of those books is going to be formatted in a very neat way. Now, I write my books in Google Docs. I always do. But what I noticed when I wanted to publish my book on KDP as a Kindle, as an ebook format, it was very difficult transferring from Google Docs to an EPUB file or getting it imported into KDP. Now, this is where Reedsy came in for me. It is free to use, and I was able to import my entire manuscript super easily into Reedsy, which allowed me to export it in a format that KDP accepted. Now, again, right, it's got a breakdown chapter by chapter, super sleek interface, really easy to use, easy to figure out, and yeah, so that's for writing. Now, the other thing I have for you that I want to cover briefly here is once this loads, book formatting. This is, primarily for Google Docs. I wrote it for Google Docs. You can use it in Word. You can't really use it in Reedsy just because of the nature of the platform. Now take a look at this. This is something that nobody talks about, and this is something I had to learn and figure out before publishing my first book. And I just want to make it super easy for you guys to follow along. So take a look at this. This is exactly how to format a book to get it ready for self-publishing. Everything from specs, like font size, font script, right, color, justification, the header size, elements, everything. So let's dive right in. This is how to format. Personally, I prefer Times New Roman, font size 11. Times New Roman is a serif font. If you know what that means, it means each letter has decorative lines. Okay, Arial, for example, is a sans serif. Sans is French for without serif. Compared to the Arial font right here, it is no decorative lines. It's pretty straightforward. I prefer Times New Roman. The reason for the font being size 11 is due to the shrinkage of the page itself. You'll see it in step 3, but we'll actually shrink the page, which means that the bigger font actually looks worse on a smaller page. I'll say that. For your manuscript, you want to justify. So let's go ahead. Let's do this first, right? It's Times New Roman, font size 11. Obviously, come right here, right? The default will be, I think, Arial font size. Arial 11, I think, is the default. Come over here, change to Times New Roman, font size 11. For your manuscript, you want to justify both sides of the page. Now, default, again, is left justification. So that needs to be changed to both columns being justified. You can do that by doing Control-Shift-J as a keyboard shortcut. Or, if you come up here, align an indent, and you hit the two sides, right, where it's straight. Both sides are justified. After you've done these changes, Times New Roman, font size 11, both left and right justification, you want to come over here to normal text, hover over normal text, and then hit update normal text to match. That will change your default normal text to Times New Roman 11 left and right justified. And it will also change your headers to a Times New Roman font. So if you saw, everything on this document just shifted. So that's the first step, just changing the font. The second step is headings and breaks. The title should obviously be in the title format. So, right, if you've got the title of your document, you want to go over here, hit title. Subtitle will be your subtitle. For a document, for a article or blog, I recommend doing header 1. And that can just be bigger, right? So if you make header 1, font size 18, again, hover over header 1, update heading 1 to match, right? And any sub-chapter or headings should be header 2, right? So chapter headings in your manuscript will be header 1, because it'll be after your title. Any sub-chapter will be header 2. For example, right? If this is my title, okay, this is my title. This is going to be header 1, okay, chapter 1, right? And this right here is going to be header 2. We can change the size on that too, and then maybe italicize that. And then hover, hit update heading 2 to match. And if you take a look, all of the headers just changed to header 2. So this is what your chapter headings should look like. Now, each chapter should start on a new page. To do that, all you have to do is go before it and then hit Control, Enter. And then it automatically jumps to a new page. I know a lot of people when they try to go to a new page, they just do Enter, 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 Enter. Don't ever do that. It is frustrating and not a good practice. All you've got to do is come before it and hit Control, Enter. If you don't want to do the for Apple, it's going to be Command Enter instead of Control. If you don't want to do that as a keyboard shortcut, you can always come here to Insert and then scroll down to Break and hit Page Break. As you can see, here's the keyboard shortcut, right? Now, this is useful for in between the title and chapter 1 and each chapter, right? Another thing that I suggest doing when you come over here is you can hit Insert, go to Break, and then Section Break. What that will do is it will jump to a brand new page. It does the same thing in principle as the page break, but it makes it as a new section. So if you want to change your headers, for example, if you've got a book and you don't want the header or the footer to be in the chapter title pages, like you don't want to say, page 32 for chapter 3, section breaks is the way to go, because now when I click on the header, I can choose a different first page. I can't do that with page breaks. I can do that with section breaks. Okay, so we covered normal text and we covered headers and breaks. Okay, difference between page break and section break again. Now, the document layout itself. We need to change the parameters of our entire document. If you've ever picked up a book, chances are it's not going to be 8.5 by 11. Okay, it's not a printer paper. It's a book. It's a statement page. It's going to be 5.5 times 8.5. I'll show you what that looks like. to change the parameters of our document, all you've got to do is go over to here to File on the top left of your screen and hit Page Setup. So we scroll down here, Page Setup. Change the paper size. Okay, you want to apply it to the whole document. Orientation, obviously portrait. The paper size is what you want to change to Statement. It's got 5.5 by 8.5. Page color white. The margins you want to change to 0.7 on the top and the bottom, and then 0.5 on the left and the right. What it does, you'll see it here, is it makes your Google Doc that you're working with the exact size of a book. Okay. Now, the reason why we change the margins is because I'll show you over here. We do page setup and we leave the margins the same. They're all 1. You can see everything shrinks down. And now it's a tiny little thing in the center, and we've got way too big of margins. Okay, so you want to do 0.7 on the top and the bottom, and then 0.5 on the left and the right. Now, that's the document layout. For page numbers, step 4. Here's how you want to click Insert. Oh, Insert. Scroll down here to page numbers, and then you can choose whichever layout you want. I'll pick this one for now. And here you've got the header option, right? You can either have it in the header or the footer, it doesn't really matter. But you want to click over here to Options and then Header Format. You want to change the header inches from the top and the bottom to 0.4 on both. I usually do a different first page because the title page is not going to have a page number. And you want to click Different, Odd, or Even because I want my even numbers to be on the right side and my odd numbers to be on the left. If you've ever opened a book, right, your page numbers aren't going to be on the inside of the spiral of the bound part of the note of the book. So right here, this got rid of it because it's an odd number, right, or even. So I'm going to go back over here, click Insert, Page Numbers, and do the same thing. I want to get rid of my title page. Okay, that's not going to have a page number. On this page, I want it to be on, we can do the left side, okay? And 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. I'm gonna hit the line, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is just personally how I like to format a book. You write the title, dimensions, and scroll over here. Do the same thing on this side, right? So I've got author name, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Now our page numbers, I usually do them 1 or 2 font sizes smaller, just because it shouldn't be the same size as our text as the rest of our book. If you take a look up here, that looks pretty neat. It's more or less centered right on the page. What we can even do is instead of 0.4, we could do 0.3. See how that looks. So you can mess around with these as you go along. I like 0.3 better here, actually. That looks more centered. So play around with it. Do something that looks right to you, right? You don't have to italicize. You don't have to, right? You can do whatever. You don't need the line up here. You can do ... You don't have to do anything, right? Play around with something that looks good for you. So that is the page numbers. Again, section page. If you do a section break, you do. You don't have to do page numbers on that. Okay, the next thing. Headers and footers we did. Again, you could change the page numbers to be on the footer instead of the header. It's up to you. The last thing I want to go over is indents. Now, this is something that people absolutely butcher all the time, and I just can't stand it. I personally can't stand it. Never ever hit tab to indent. Here's why. If you take a look at this indent right here, okay, this whole thing is a 1-inch indent for my starting paragraph. Okay, that looks awful. It looks so bad. The indent is way too big. Okay, and I just hit the tab button here. If you see, right, tab, boom. It's a 1-inch indent. It takes up way too much of the space of the page. Instead, you want to click Format. Over here to click Format, and you want to hit Align and Indent, Indentation Options, and then come over here to First Line. Okay, First Line. And you can change this 2 different things. Now, here are 2 things I suggest. You can either do a 0.2-inch indent. Okay, see how big of a difference this is? This is a 1-inch indent. This is a 0.2-inch indent. Okay, this is what it looks like. This looks way cleaner when you're writing a book. This is personally what I prefer. I prefer a 0.2-inch indent. Okay, nothing too big. You can still see the indent. If it's too small for you, you can try a 0.3. I would not go anything past 0.3. Okay, this is what a 0.3 indent looks like. Still not too shabby. It's smaller than a 1-inch wonder, but not as small as our 0.2 power. I ran out of ideas there. But that's really how to format a book. So make sure you get all of these down. Again, this document right here, the document specs and dimensions, is posted in the description. So if you need, use this as a reference, right? Now, the last thing I want to go through is the copyright template. So this is all things you want to, like, if you've got a manuscript written right now, you can format your book, typeset it on Readsy, find if it's profitable, run it through the calculator, see how many sales you need to hit per day, get your copyright template done. If you don't have it written, use the fiction outline, use the nonfiction outline, right? This is all material that you can use directly to make your writing, like to finish your writing. This is the template right here. Super simple, super easy, right? This is a work of fiction. Names, characters, places, and incidents either are the product of the author's imagination or are used fictitiously. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, events, or locales is entirely coincidental. You've got your copyright. Obviously, change the year, right? 2024, almost 2025, by your name. All rights reserved, right? Blah blah blah. Put in your author email. First paperback. Obviously something that is in the future. And then go ahead, put in your website. There we go. So again, like I said, all these links are in the description. This month, we're going through 11 months. Month 11 is going to be our published month. Month 12 is going to be the month where it's the post-launch, right? So yeah, month 1 is really just finish writing your book. Get your manuscript ready, because months 2 through 10 is really going to be about marketing, keyword research, blogging, growing your email list, finalizing launch things, right? Getting your mock-ups, book cover design, all the exciting things. So this was kind of a, get your crap together, finish your writing, get your book done, so that we can move on to some exciting things. I'm really looking forward to this. I am super excited to dive into next month, which is setting up your, building your brand, setting up your website, and getting your social media set up. This is the beginning of the marketing world, right? As we say in the publishing world, marketing is a necessary evil. I don't think it's evil at all, but it's definitely necessary. And so we'll dive into that next month. That's all I have for you this month. Next month, we'll cover building your brand, designing your website, and setting up your social media accounts. Now, I want this journey to be interactive. So if you have questions, comments, concerns, advice, tips, tricks, random acts of dance or poetry, I want you to drop them in the comment section below. Let me know if there's a tool that you use that has helped you in your writing or publishing that I haven't covered yet, that you want me to cover, or is there anything else that I should cover in my videos moving forward that you'd really like to know about, learn, or just talk about with me. Now, that's all I have for you today. Feel free to subscribe. See you soon.